Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, heard Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on PSA.com and the PSA Facebook page. The Great American Collectibles Show is brought to you by PSA and the National Sports Collectors Convention. Tonight's headlines are brought to you by Sports Collectors Daily. For all of your hobby news, features, and more, visit sportscollectorsdaily.com. And now, your hosts, Tom Zappala and Rico Petrocelli.
You know, you are one handsome guy. You really are. No, I'm serious. You know, I was looking at a picture of you, and when you were a kid playing ball, man, you were kind of like a.
That's good.
You were like a Studley kind of a guy.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say anything to you, but
I mean, I could see. No, I mean, if I was a chick, if I was an Italian chick hanging out of a window
with a goatee or what?
Yeah, hanging out a window in the North End in 1965, and I just happened to be looking out, and Canigliaro and Petrocelli are walking down the street. You know, they're grooving.
Yep.
I can see
the pizza place.
I can see the chicks yelling out the window to you guys.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They did.
I'm serious.
No, I'm telling you, they were out there saying, "Hey, Rico, Tony, hey, bada bing, bada boom." Except they were 80 years old. That's the only problem.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Hey, we got a good show tonight. Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. My name is Tom Zappala. I am with my paisan, Red Sox Hall of Famer, 5-time All-Star, but he only went twice because they were jerks back then. Rico Petrocelli. That's bull. I don't want to hear that. You're a freaking All-Star 5 times. And before I read our headlines, why don't we bring our guest in, because he is one of our favorites. Brian Drent from Mile High Card Company. Brian, check those pictures out behind you. What do you got going back there?
I got what do we got? A Larry Bird and Magic Johnson signed Stephen Holland piece and Lou Gehrig item. So,
did you say Nancy Johnson?
I said Magic Johnson.
Oh, Magic Johnson. I said, who the hell is Nancy Johnson?
Who's Nancy
Johnson? I don't know.
That's what I heard. I can't help it.
All right, so Brian's in the house. We're going to chat with Brian a little bit about what's going on in Mile High. With Brian's on, the good thing about Brian, he doesn't care what direction we go in, and we go in all kinds of directions, talking about the hobby, talking about how some of his professional teams in Colorado really suck. But aside from that, we'll talk about that stuff. And we got Al Crisafulli from Love of the Game coming on a little bit later. But first, our headlines. And this headline has to do with one of Brian's good friends, the guys at Memory Lane. Memory Lane set to unveil a huge fall rarities auction with 2 catalog sets. It's been a busy summer at Memory Lane. While many of us have enjoyed cookouts, ball games, travel, or a healthy dose of relaxation, the longtime Southern Cal Auction Company has spent the last few months piecing together one of the biggest catalogs in company history. Actually, it's going to be 2 catalogs. The company's fall rarities auction include one book containing a treasure trove of high-quality and rare vintage and modern cards, autographs, and other memorabilia, and another with a museum-like collection of rare vintage photographs. They'll be arriving in customers' homes on computer screens shortly, with the auction slated to commence on September 25th, which has already gone by because we're recording. I'll tell you about that in a second. But it goes through October 9th. For more information, you can go to memorylane.com. MemoryLaneAuctions.com, and how do I usually read this? For hobby news, information, and much more, go to our friend Rich Mueller and the great folks at Sports Collectors Daily. Brian, you guys, you and JP are friends, and Joe T, you guys are all good friends. You're all friendly competitors. You guys have both had great years, and we're going to talk about that in a second. The other thing is we have I don't think you've ever witnessed a On Deck with Rico segment. We have a new segment called On Deck with Rico. People saying it sucks. What do you mean it sucks? People love it. I get emails all the time. And listen to this, Rico.
Dave's granddaughter does that. She's a sweetie. That's the good part of it.
Yeah, actually, you're right. But we're giving away, Rico was nice enough to send to me about a half a dozen signed.
What?
All right, 10. How many did you send?
How many?
I don't know.
11.
11. Rico Petrocelli signed photographs. This is one of 3 or 4 different kinds. You know what the coolest one is, Rico?
That's a pop-up.
The pop-up, man. The 67 pop-up catching Rich
No,
Rollins.
I mean the other.
Oh, that's a great one, though.
Yeah.
And then we also have, we're going to have a giveaway for another little Rico Petrocelli signed card. Which is kind of
man.
Listen, that's for this one, for the Joe Marino crap bag. Anyway. All right. Let's get to Brian.
Yes, please.
Hey, Brian. Let's talk about first the results. How was the National? Tell us about the National.
Oh man, the National was absolutely incredible. It was, first of all, it was just great to be back there. It was great to be at an event that size, and it really was unprecedented. I mean, the attendance was incredible. The main stage where you guys were was packed all the time. Thanks for having me up on one of the panels.
We had fun, man. That was fun, right? That was a good time.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, it's always fun to make fun of Derek.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you get a chance to make fun of Derek, you got to.
How can you not?
So, no, but it was great. We had a fabulous show. I'll tell you, we had an auction that was ongoing during the National. And so it ended the week after the National. And we've had that before, but and when that happens, we don't really know how our consignments are going to be at the show. We really have no idea. And so we had several great years of success before, 2020, where we unfortunately couldn't go to the show. And we're going to get $250,000 in consignments, or $2.5 million. Needless to say, we blew it out of the water. We got well over $4 million worth of consignments in at that show. And
you know, it's funny because you and I had a conversation, and I was talking to Brian Dwyer also. The first several hours, you guys were a little concerned, right?
Oh, I was very concerned. It was weird,
right? And then all of a sudden, there was an avalanche.
People in the room. And we had so many people in the room, and it just didn't seem to be happening. So I wasn't saying I was concerned, because I had gone in with a kind of a thought that whatever happens, happens. I was just glad to be there. But it started to get a little odd. And then the first day came and went. The second day was about half over. We had a couple little deals that were happening, but nothing that really set the world on fire. What happened was, in today's hobby business, if you will, it can take 1 card, 2 cards, and the numbers, because the value of some of these cards are so extraordinary that things really take a jump. And so we were very fortunate. It's one of my favorite cards out there. Everybody would always say, "Oh, it's got to be a T206 Wagner or 52." Honestly, 1916 M1014 Ruth rookie in a PSA 7 is right at the top of the list. And we were fortunate that we got that deal done at the show, and we're going to be offering that in our fall auction.
Very cool.
So that right there made it a success. And then on top of that, there was the National Treasures Mahomes 1 out of 25 that's going to sell for a crazy number, and some other crazy things. So what was usually a time when we take in a certain amount of consignment and ship tons of product back to the office and have set registry sets full of plastic everywhere, and we're hustling to FedEx before we head out to the airport, was literally contained in 1 vault box. Wow. And it exceeded.
Very good.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was cool.
And it makes it easy. Rick?
It made it easy, and it's going to make for an interesting auction in the fall for us, because it's not 12 to 1,500 lot auction. It's about 500 or 600 lots, but the money will actually exceed anything that we've probably done.
Which
so
makes it from a labor standpoint, makes it a little easier for you guys.
Yeah, my guys kind of like it this way.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they don't want to ship too much. They don't like writing too much. No, they do, but it's just how it worked out. So I'm excited. It should be a really fun auction. It was just so great to be back with people that are our customers. They're our friends. We're able to interact. It was nice that we didn't have to wear masks unless you chose to, which was fine. Yeah. And so it was just great to be there.
Good.
That's
right. Did you guys have fun?
Oh,
I know
I had a blast.
Oh, God, I had a great time.
Yeah, Rico had a great time collecting his paychecks
That's
at
right.
Fenway Park.
Don't believe him.
Yeah, please.
Brian, I want to ask you,
Yeah.
in recent shows, the ones that Tom lets me come on, I haven't heard much about anything from Brady. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Is his card?
That's a good
I think
question.
his card prices are off the charts right now, especially last week he throws for 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't for the team that you guys root for, but hey, it is what it is.
You know something, Brian, what's going on up here? Rico, you probably know this, but it's almost like there's 2 New England teams right now because just about every Tampa Bay game is on up here. They're airing them up here.
Are they really?
Oh, yeah. There's a few that aren't, but they're airing a lot of them up here. Like, I don't know what they're doing with the regional stuff, but hey, the ratings up here to watch TB12 are still off the charts. And you know something else I was just reading, Rico and Brian? You know what the ticket prices are going for the Tampa Bay Patriots game? $1,000 a pop.
Oh,
that doesn't shock me.
Wow.
The game there in Foxborough.
Yeah.
I want also, no. I mean, I just was curious about his card. It's not mentioned how many people are, looking to buy it and so on. But anyway, I wanted to ask you. You mentioned your next auction.
Sure.
When does that start?
We're going to start that one October 25th and finish November 11th.
Oh, okay.
So our consignment deadline is actually Monday the 27th, and we'll be hard working, putting everything together, getting it off to the printer, and from there, before we know it, it'll be October 25th.
Listen, Brian, I don't know if we've showed you. Hey, David, I know I love throwing David curveballs. David, you don't happen to have an image of the new studio, do you?
Let me dig it up and keep talking. I'll get back to you.
Okay, if you can, because I know Brian, because we sent everybody get a nice email.
Sure.
We're real excited about Rico and I and JM and David. We're going to be moving to the new Studio 21 Podcast Cafe just over the line in New Hampshire. We're about 35 minutes north of Boston. But we are now going to be part of the American Videocast Podcast Network. So going forward, beginning in October, beside our regular Facebook platform and YouTube, you're going to be able to listen to us on iHeartRadio, Pandora. David, that's the cafeteria. We need the there we go. That's the new studio. Isn't that pretty cool?
That is amazing. So how far is that from where you live?
20 minutes. And for Rico, it's
an
actually
hour and a half from me.
It's
what the hell's it? Let the old guy drive all those miles. Don't worry about it.
Rico, I mean, you put in a lot of effort. So
he kills it. Hey, Rico, let me ask you a question though.
Go ahead.
Is this studio closer to you than the old studio, drive-wise?
It's about the same.
It is about the same.
Yeah. Because I got to go side roads here.
Okay.
So a lot of lights and all that stuff. That's why I'm asking for a raise.
But the end result is cigars. That's the end result.
Yeah, well, that's true.
But anyway, so that's all going to start on October. It's the first show is going to air on October 27th. We're going to record it on the 22nd. So you're going to be on. You're going to be able to say, Alexa, I want to listen to the Great American Collectibles Show. It's going to be kind of cool. So
that is great.
We'll see how that all plays. Brian, we were having a discussion last week. We got on actually with Grady, and we were talking to, I can't remember who the other guest was, but we were talking about vintage versus modern, and I wanted to get your opinion on this.
Sure.
Because there's a new, obviously, and I know that it was a baptism under fire for you because you're a vintage guy.
Yep, no question.
There's a new breed of hobbyist collectors that are young, that are aggressive, that love the hobby, but they're also investors. And we were talking about how even the little kids today, when we were little kids, and I use this phrase a lot, we would go down to the local corner store,
sure,
and buy a pack of cards, for 10, 15, 20 cents, whatever it was, open them up, and then we would look at the cards, flip the cards. Oh, there's a Yaz. I want it. There's a Harmon Killebrew. I want it. I don't need it. I got it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Now, I was watching some of the little kids. I was watching some of the pack openings at the National. And you've got these kids that are anywhere from 12 to 15 opening up a pack and doing the same thing. Except when we opened a pack as a kid, and I had a Harmon Killebrew, I never once, and I don't think any other kid in my generation ever once thought about what the value of the card was. It was the fact that you had the Harmon Killebrew card or the Yaz card or the Hank Aaron card or the Rico Petrocelli card. It didn't matter. Today, sure, as they're flipping through these cards and they grab a Wander Franco card,
they know exactly what it's worth.
Exactly. It's like, I got this card. What's it worth? Or this is what it's worth.
Sure.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I guess you could probably look at it from both ways. We don't want to be, the old guy on your front lawn that's, back in my day,
right,
we didn't do it this way. The one thing that we need to keep in mind, it's not back in the day, it's right now. So these guys and these kids, whether they're 12 years old, 16 years old, 24 years old, first of all, you cannot doubt them at all when they walk up to the table at a show, because they've got their box of cards, and I swear there can be guys, 16-year-old kids that have $1 million worth of baseball cards in there. I've seen it with my own eyes. I swear. And so the last thing you want to do is doubt that they have anything. Number one. Number two, they're incredibly knowledgeable because they use every resource that's at their fingertips, which is really their keyboard. And they know exactly what they have, what it's worth on that day, what it's trading for, and there's, so I think to their credit, they're coming at this from a different place, a different angle. And it's not exactly what we were used to when we were young. So to their credit, I mean, they're much more educated about the industry, about our hobby, both where it's at right now and where it's going to in the future than probably a lot of people are.
Yeah, but don't forget, I'm going by when I was a kid. No wisecracks there, Zappala.
No, I want to hear this.
No. There was no industry.
Sure.
Well, you know what I mean? You go back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, then it started to come out. But however, the kids of today, where'd they get that information from? Is it their parents? Is it, I don't know.
Well, this industry, if you will, because I truly believe it, I think it has a backbone as a hobby, but it definitely has a future as an industry. And that is where we need to marry the love of collecting with the eye of investing. And so there's got to be a common ground with those two. But, these kids and young people and even guys in their 30s, 40s, they're really educated with the material they have, the possibilities that they've seen cards go from, $3,000 to literally $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 in a short period of time. So they're looking for the next card that's like that. And who are we to say that there won't be cards like that? Because there have been.
But Rico's making a good point. It wasn't an industry, but
Sure.
The only thing that I fear is that they don't look at this hobby / industry without some love for it. I mean, there are people that play the stock market, day traders every day.
Yep.
And they'll buy whatever, Apple or some I don't know, some stock. They know they have no love for the stock. They have no love for the company. They're simply making a financial transaction.
Sure.
I'm hoping that the majority of the young collectors / investors at least have a love of the hobby, even the player. I mean,
I would agree totally.
If you're gonna flip, I don't know, pick anybody. Again, I'll use Wander Franco because I think he's a hell of a player. At least know something about him, about the player, about his career. don't just look at him as a stock item. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I agree. And that's what makes this a hobby. It's really the reason most all of us got into this. It wasn't always about the money. I mean, the money, it's at a point where, in a place where we've never seen it before.
Right.
Who knows where it goes from here. But we should ultimately, and I believe the great vast majority of people that are in this, involved in the industry / hobby, if you will, definitely have a love for the game,
I
the
hope
sports,
so.
and for the material.
Well, they have let's say their favorite team. So if they get
Sure.
a card, they want to start out, so the father takes them to a card show or, to wherever, with his cards, and he buys one. Now he sees all the other cards, or he starts getting interested. Geez, I wonder about this card. I wonder about that card. So you hope that's what happens. But
that they develop a love for.
It's an emotion, like we've talked about over the years, actually. But I think the kids do have it. I think they do have.
I hope you're right.
I think they do have both. I really do.
Well, it's going to be very interesting to see where this goes. Obviously, I'm sure, there's been much discussion on your shows, on internet sites about Fanatics and their, taking over the Topps license for baseball and then the Panini for basketball and football. With the resources Fanatics has and the reach they have, the marketing they have, how many people do they get that are, going to Fenway and they see Fanatics, on the scoreboard, they see it on the, advertised around, and through their commercials, they're a company that can literally afford to advertise during the World Series, during Super Bowls. How many people come into this from a different angle? And then, like Rico said, find out about their favorite team, be it the Red Sox, be it, the Dallas Cowboys, whoever it might be, and then look further into it and develop more of an interest. Remember when they had cards when they were a kid, and see where it goes from there. So that's what should really be interesting.
Listen, we're chatting with Brian. We have to take a break, Rick.
Wait, no. I just want to, maybe you can answer. Did you see MLB Network?
I didn't see it.
They got a thing on cards. Very interesting. Go to it if you get a chance.
Yeah, I will.
You'll see it. You'll see.
What kind of a thing is it, Rico? What are they doing?
Well, I know they got a bunch of cards all around. They got one big one in the middle, and it asks a question. What's your favorite card? Or what do you
that's
think?
interesting that they're picking
something
up.
like this. Yeah.
All right, listen, we're going to take a break.
That's
Brian Drent's in the house from Mile High Card Company. And when we come back, Brian, I want to talk a little bit more about the Fanatics acquisition and what you think it's going to do to the hobby.
Sure.
All right. Hang in there. Yeah. We'll be right back.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rico Petrocelli, and I'm very excited to talk to you about our new partner, Panini America. Panini America is the world leader in licensed sports and entertainment collectibles, and we're proud to have them as the official trading card of the Great American Collectibles Show. When it comes to modern trading cards of your favorite players, Panini America leads the way in terms of innovation, design, creativity, value, and fun. From landmark brands such as Donruss, Prism, and Contenders to high-end juggernauts like Flawless, National Treasures, and Immaculate, Panini America delivers the hottest trading cards of the biggest names in the NBA, NFL, MLB, PA, NASCAR, soccer, and college. When you want to collect the best, collect Panini America. Ask for it at your local hobby shop or at mass retailers like Target and Walmart. And you can always find Panini America online at icollectpanini.com. Panini America. Who do you collect?
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auction and Collectibles Company. If you're looking to maximize your return on your sports cards and collectibles, look no further. We at Memory Lane Auction House offer you several options to achieve top dollar for your collectibles. Whether you're looking to auction or sell privately, we're the #1 choice with over 17 years in the hobby. Nobody will work harder to achieve your goals. Just call us today at 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE. Or visit us on the web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Go with the best. Go with Memory Lane.
Now on deck with Rico Petrocelli. Rico Petrocelli. Hi, my name is Chloe. Time for On Deck with Rico Petrocelli.
All right, it's time for our new segment, On Deck with Rico, brought to us by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to get your bid in by going to robertedwardauctions.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service. All right, Rico, this week's question was submitted by Mike Miller. Michael Miller, I don't know who he is. He sent an email in, wants to know the top 3 hitters you ever played with or against. The top 3 hitters in your career.
Wow. Well, does that?
By the way, this is what they
training?
win. Signed Rico. Signed Rico.
Spring training.
No. Okay.
The
Yeah.
top,
Actually,
well,
go ahead. Yeah.
Well, the top 3 players with the Red Sox was Yaz, Rice, and Lynn. Now there's a lot of guys. Some other guys close.
What about overall? What about overall, including spring training?
Tony Gwynn.
Tony
Gwynn.
Wait a minute, you never played against Tony Gwynn.
I said spring training. You said yeah.
You played against him?
Yes. All-star game.
12?
No. Wait a second. Rod Carew.
Yeah.
Rod Carew. All right. Wait a minute. Rod Carew. I can't use Tony Gwynn now.
Rip
Tony Gwynn. Hold
Honus Wagner.
wait a minute. Now, and Tony Gwynn's out. Rod Carew.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
What about Clemente?
Hobbs. See what I mean?
What about Clemente?
Yeah, Clemente is one of the guys. You're killing me here. Clemente, and who's the other guy? Roy Hobbs.
No, how about seriously? How about Willie Mays?
Yeah, but those are greats. I mean, but I'm thinking of the first things that comes to mind. Yeah, Hank Aaron. I played again. There's so many of them, but what's his name from the Red Sox? Come on, Roy Hobbs. I call him.
Ted Williams.
Nope. Come on.
Dwight Evans.
Nope. Third baseman.
Yeah, but you didn't play against them.
Boggs.
Yeah, but you didn't play against them. I said play against or with. You never played with Boggs. He was 4.
Well, we did something it was a promotional thing, and I was playing that with them then.
So
Does that count? Okay. No,
aside,
you got Mays, you got Mantle, you have
God, that's right. I forgot about Mantle.
And Hank.
Clemente.
And Clemente. I mean,
right,
that's
so
what
I would
so
take
many.
those 4. I would take those 4.
That's
good.
pretty
I'll tell you
good.
what, Rico, you really did play against some unbelievable or with some unbelievable hitters in your day. You really did.
Great, yeah, the all-time greats. I look back and I said, wow. I saw them as a kid, TV, and here I am a few years later playing against them. So it's a big thrill.
That had to be cool. Brian,
Yeah.
anytime you want to jump in, ask him a question.
Oh no, John, don't ask me.
You'll get the Gettysburg Address in response.
This is no,
he will
this is
answer.
about you.
He
I
will
want to
answer.
ask you about these kids.
Wait,
now
let's ask
somebody
you about Fanatics. We wanted to ask about the Fanatics acquisition, Brian.
Sure.
You got me all screwed up. Look, my eyes are bad.
What's this going to do to the hobby? Is this going to help the hobby, hurt the hobby? I mean,
Yeah.
everything's going to be.
I think it's a positive. It's just going to be a changing of the hobby. Listen, I don't profess by any stretch of the imagination to really know a tremendous amount about the modern card. Not that, like you said, it's a baptism by fire. We've hired somebody to come on board and help us with that. We've made some inroads there. We've got some great modern cards. But speaking of the ultra modern, with Fanatics now owning, Topps license for baseball and Panini's license for basketball and football, I've got to understand it or think of it from a business standpoint. I can't imagine. I think where things are going to change dramatically might be for the distributors. I just can't imagine that Fanatics isn't going to have the thought process that, hey, we want to put the product in the end user's hand. And we have the ability to put the product in the end user's hand. With that said, utilizing a distribution network may be different than the way Topps did it, the way Panini did it. I don't think you're going to see a product that comes out where a card shop can buy a product for X amount, and by the time that it's in their hand, it's 4X. I just don't see that happening. The other thing I think is entirely plausible and probably probable would be the possibility that Fanatics creates stores and makes in each large whether it's Denver, Boston, New York, Southern California, each metropolitan area, the possibility I think exists where they have their own stores. If you have all of the apparel, you have all the licenses to Major League Baseball, you have it to the NFL, you have it to all of college, and you're creating apparel. Now you have all the trading cards. I mean, wouldn't it make logical sense that you would have a place where they could go? And I think these stores could be, quite honestly, the size of a Walgreens. Wow. So if you're a card shop, I think these are kind of things, the LCS local card shops might have to consider how their landscape's going to change. And for our industry, I think a lot of things could change. I think the possibility exists down the road that Fanatics, definitely, without question, I think they will look to get into, online gaming. I think that's a distinct possibility, and that's going to change, potentially change our business. I think the possibility exists that they could potentially look at grading cards.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sure.
You get it from the snout to the tail.
You're right. Good points. All good points.
Brian, I wanted to ask you about the packs, opening the packs.
Sure.
Where do you think that's going? You think it'll get even more popular, increase, or decrease in popularity?
In terms of the vintage packs, or in terms of modern breaks, where I think both of them could increase in popularity. I mean, the breaks with ultra modern product seem to be, as popular as ever. I don't see that slowing down. And then when you're talking vintage breaks, I think that that's really exciting. It definitely catches people's attention. I know we sell a tremendous amount of unopened product vintage wise. The question really begs then, can the supply meet the demand? And so we'll see where that goes.
Well, then the other thing is, as time goes on, some cards that are right on the borderline considered vintage are going to become vintage as time goes on.
Good point.
Brian, what about everybody's been talking about the modern card influx, and how they thought, or how a lot of people thought it was going to affect the vintage market. In my opinion, and I could be wrong, you're the expert, I think that the modern card market, with the influx of new hobbyists and investors, has kind of helped the vintage market. Because is it my imagination, or I mean, the vintage market is vibrant as far as price increases.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a trickle down effect where, you know, there are vintage cards that are going for a hell of a lot more than they were going for 10 years ago.
There's no question about that, Tom. I'll tell you what, I kind of equate modern and then ultra modern cards almost as tech stocks, and vintage is kind of blue chip stocks.
It's the Procter and Gamble.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And so what do we all do? We want to have a certain percentage of our portfolio that may be playing in the tech stock field just because of the home runs that are possible in there. And then the greater percentage maybe driving it towards our blue chip stocks. And I think the same thing, is going on in this industry. When you look at, like you kind of made mention of, how somebody gets into this and they're collecting Wander Franco, they're collecting Fernando Tatis Jr., they're collecting Mike Trout. Mike Trout's an old card to them.
Right.
And then they realize, wait a second, I really enjoy this. I like this. You know, I've built a nice portfolio, but you know what I need to add to it? I need a Mickey Mantle card. I need a Rico Petrocelli card. I need Mays. And then once in a, then you gravitate. Oh my gosh, this is a real card of Babe Ruth. So one leads to the other.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And like you said, the prices, I mean, we're selling items at prices that are astounding, quite honestly.
They really are. I mean, it's like shocking. It's like,
we
shocking.
sold and brokered a Tito 6 Wagner 18 months ago for $3.25 million. At the time, that was the second highest price ever paid for any baseball card. It has been shattered so as to where REA sells the same, a card graded a 3 for $6.6 million 18 months after that.
Nuts.
I mean, would that have happened without some of the positive vibes that have happened from the modern card market and all of the national headlines and how in vogue our business and our hobby has become? I don't think so.
I agree. We're chatting with Brian Drent. I see Brian Drent from Mile High Card Company. Rick, you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Brian, what year a card or what type of player on a card would you take? So I'm having trouble. Or would you not take of a particular player? In other words, like I have like 10 Rip Rapolsky cards. Would you take them in an auction, or there has to be, a pretty big name?
That's a great question. And people are always asking us, what really fits in your auction. Every auction house is a little bit different. A lot of them are fairly mainstream, but some have a better feel for unopened products. Some of them have a better feel for game used jerseys. With that said, maybe somebody's better at selling a Rip Rapolsky card than we are here. It just depends on the grade, really the value. We try to cater, and we've talked about this before, where we try to cater to the very top end of the hobby, as well as, just an average collector, because you never know who's going to be the next guy that starts out in one aspect of the hobby on the lower end. And as they gain more passion and have resources down the line, they become one of the customers that's bidding on things that quite literally they never thought they would be bidding on. So, if it's graded a 9 by PSA, Rico, we'll take it.
Hey, Brian, let's go vintage for a few minutes. Off the top of your head, and let's stay away from the Wagners, the Cobbs,
Sure.
the 206s, the 33 Gaudis. 3 or 4 hot cards in the vintage market that you think are like on the radar that are really looking good as far as the future holds?
Yeah, that's a great question. Off the top of my head, Gosh, that's a tough one. I think you're looking at something like 48 Bowman Musial. I think is a card that should be on everybody's want list. I mean, he's kind of not seen in the same light as some of the other top line Hall of Famers. But if you look at the numbers, the career achievements, and playing in a town for his whole career like St. Louis, I don't have any idea why. So I think that card in particular, maybe also his 48 Leaf, could really, show future appreciation in the price. 39 Play Ball Williams, it's gotten up there a little bit, but the same kind of thing. It comes from a black and white set.
Yeah, it's not a pretty card.
Set in the world.
Right.
But look at who he was and what he was, and then, how difficult the card is in higher grades. I think that's a place. It seems to me that all Jackie Robinson cards right now are an absolute fire. So I would say that even though the prices are pretty strong on Jackie, I see even greater appreciation. And then, I would say maybe Derek Jeter. It's a little bit more modern, but, I know that ESPN is coming out with a documentary, and Jeter's going to be prominently featured. So I think you may see some drift over from what exactly happened with The Last Dance with Jordan.
Interesting.
What about a letter from Ted Williams to Rico Petrocelli about hitting?
I think that would be probably a pretty good item.
January 29th, 1969.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, Rico, hold on.
It's typed, but I don't know.
But was he giving you, Rico? What was the body of the letter? He was giving you batting tips.
Well, he's saying there might be. I asked him about spring training. I want to tell you that I was very glad to get your letter, and it really made me feel good to think that maybe I have done some good with you young sluggers with the Red Sox. I couldn't agree with you more than that. You are certainly capable of being a better hitter than you were last season, and nothing would please me more than to be with you and talk with you this coming spring. Then he has a whole new paragraph about coming to spring training. He says I could be a 300 hitter and all, unless all that stuff. So he's going to work with me.
Really? And did he work with you in spring training?
Oh yeah, he worked with me and all the young kids. And then he signs Ted. He didn't, Ted.
Rico,
and he's got his.
And I know you've mentioned this to me before, but was he the one that had you open up your stance so that you weren't such a pull hitter anymore? Was it Ted that did that?
Pete Runnels.
Oh, that's right. It was Runnels. He was
a batting coach when I came up.
Right, cool. Hey, Brian, I've asked the question a million times. What about the 51 Bowman Mantle? That card still doesn't seem to be getting a tremendous amount of love.
It's a great. I think it gets a lot of love, but it still seems, and we've talked about this for a decade plus. I think it always seems to be a card that kind of lives in the shadow of the 52 Topps Mantle. Now, that's not a bad shadow to live in. I mean, a PSA 8 just sold for $2.1 million of the 52. So if you think about it, if you can buy a 51 Bowman Mantle at 25%, 20 to 25% of the value of a 52 Mantle in an 8, I would think that'd be a great value. You wouldn't think, so I think it's a card that definitely shows signs that there's definitely appreciation on top of where it's at right now.
Okay, we got a couple of minutes left. When does your auction start?
We're going to start the auction October 25th, and we're going to finish it November 11th.
All right, a couple of quick points. Go ahead, Rick.
Brian, I wanted to ask, we have a lot of collectors listening to the show, I hope. And do you have any advice for them, in the future, the year to come, regarding the type of things that they might look for, and not from the investment? I know the players that they like, there's emotions involved, but what should they do to increase their collection?
Well, that's a great question, and I think that's one that has to be answered with looking at it from somewhat of a financial standpoint. but also an enjoyment standpoint. We all get into this because we enjoy sports. We enjoy, you either have a collecting gene or you don't. And many of the guys that really don't stay in this for a long time. So if you do, this is your passion. Enjoy the hobby and work on something that you find enjoyment, whether it's building a 38 Gaudi set or a 53 Topps set or a 71 Kellogg set. Enjoy what you're doing at that time so you can take something out of it. With that said, try to build stuff in the highest grade that you can afford, because at some point, whether it's you or someone from your family, it's going to be for sale at some point. So there'll be a better return if you try to do that.
His name is Brian Drent, Mile High Card Company. Brian, we're going to see you at the Shriners in November, correct?
I will be there. I will absolutely be there. I think I'll see you.
Well, you won't, because it's already over.
That's correct. That's correct.
And this is a little insider, because it's now today is. Let's put it this way. This is before the Philly show. We're pre-recording because we're leaving for Philly in a few more days. So I'm going to see Brian in a few days, but by the time you guys are watching the show, I've already seen Brian.
So we're already in the future.
Exactly. We're in the future. All right, Brian, we love you, brother.
All right, I'll see you.
Take care, Brian.
Guys.
Company. Good guy.
That's
good guy.
Very good, boys.
All right, listen, we're going to take a break. We come back. Big Al is going to join us. Al Crisafulli. Well, listen, give me the letter. Let me take care of that.
Not the letter. It's the it's the show. Philly show.
No. The Philly show's over. The CSA show is what you're going to read. That's what
CSA. Why did you do that?
That was an accident. It was an accident.
I know it. I figured.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk to Al, and Rico's going to talk to us about the CSA shows. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
My name is Davis. Please consider making a donation to the Jimmy Fund and Dana-Farber Cancer Institute and help stamp out cancer in kids. We have all been touched by cancer, but we can win the battle. Please make your donation, and remember, no amount is too small. The Jimmy Fund is the official charity of the Boston Red Sox. Thanks very much.
Hi, I'm Rico Petrocelli. I hope you listen to my pal Davis and make a contribution. We want to make children's cancer a thing of the past, and with your help, we can do it. Just go to TomZappalaMedia.com to make your charitable donation.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song.
Panini America is the world leader in licensed sports and entertainment collectibles, and we are proud to have them as the official trading card company of the Great American Collectibles Show. Panini leads the way in innovation and design with great brands like Donruss, Prism, Contenders, Flawless, National Treasures, and Immaculate. Partnering with the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball Players Association, NASCAR, FIFA, and college, Panini is certainly at the head of the hobby. You can find Panini products in major retailers like Walmart and Target, or online at icollectpaniniamerica.com. That's Panini America. Who do you collect?
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auction and Collectibles Company. If you're looking to maximize your return on your sports cards and collectibles, look no further. We at Memory Lane Auction House offer you several options to achieve top dollar for your collectibles. Whether you're looking to auction or sell privately, we're the #1 choice with over 17 years in the hobby. Nobody will work harder to achieve your goals. Just call us today at 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE. Or visit us on the web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Go with the best. Go with Memory Lane.
Okay, we are back. Are we able to get a hold of Al?
No.
We are. Hey, listen to this. Rico, listen to this one. A press release just hot off the press.
All right.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Andrew Aronstein joins Love of the Game auction as inventory manager. Strategic hire response to sustained growth for Hudson Valley-based internet sports auction house. Al, did you know this?
I had no idea.
Listen to this. Kingston, New York, September 20th, 2021. Sports memorabilia industry veteran Andrew Aronstein has joined Kingston-based Love of the Game. Oh, wait a minute, isn't that your company?
It is.
Oh, wow. As inventory manager, the strategic hire coincides with a strong period of growth for the internet sports auction house and the sports collectibles hobby in general, according to Al Crisafulli. Isn't that you?
No.
Oh, Love of the Game auctions director. Anyways, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Has he started,
man?
He has. We talked about this last time I was on the program. I kind of gave you guys the scoop about it, but it's been great already to have him involved. Coming out of the last auction, where he's been able to help us get organized and get rolling right into the next one. So that's a big help.
Fantastic. Hey, Rico, before we get going with Al, why don't you tell us about our friends at Joe Drellick and the CSA shows?
Joe's great.
Can you read it so people
Well,
can
I can. I'll try. Read lips. CSA shows is proud to be back at full capacity and to present the Chantilly show being held on October 22nd to 24th. It's held at the Dulles Expo Center in Chantilly, Virginia, just minutes from the Dulles International Airport. Celebrating over 25 years, putting a lot of people to sleep. 25 years at the same location. There will be over 300 dealer tables exhibiting on over 100,000 square feet of space. Both vintage sports cards and memorabilia, as well as modern-day sports treasures. You won't have to look very far for that special card, bat, ball, or autograph. Major auction houses and third-party grading companies will be on site to assist you with your collecting and authentication needs. Over 50 autograph guests are scheduled. Wow, to appear, highlighted by Jerome the Bus Bettis.
Good football player.
Yes. You want to read this? Well, wait a minute. Jack Lambert, Sonny Jurgensen, Bob Greasy, Roger Clemens, Andre Dawson.
Steroids.
60-time Gold Glove winner Jim Cott. An original Washington senator, by the way. Wrestling icon Ric Flair, and many, many more. For more information, go to www.csashows.com. That's the Chantilly Show, where you can find all your sports collectible treasures.
I can't believe you read that like a semi-human. That's good. You did well. Hey,
what
Al,
a great job Joe does with that show.
Oh, Joe is such a great guy. Joe is one of the jewels of the hobby.
Yep.
Does a nice show with that and the Philly show.
Yep.
Al, I was on your site. Really cool. You've done a great job with the site.
Thank you.
You've done some really nice work to it. You've got a fall auction coming up. Let's talk about that first, right?
So our fall auction will close the Saturday after Thanksgiving. It's our favorite auction of the year because that's the auction when everybody's at home thinking about sports, and it's always fun for us. So it's a cool way for us to close out the year with a big auction. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Hey, Al, by the way.
Go on.
Sorry, you got to finish. No, I got a 1933 turkey. Can you put that on?
You are a turkey.
Hey, let's go. We get personal. No, I had to. I'm sorry.
Want to see some highlights?
Yes.
Yeah.
First glance?
Yeah.
First
Gobble,
glance.
gobble.
Are you kidding?
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Oh man, what's the grade on it?
That's a PSA 5. See, everything's backwards and
No,
weird.
that's okay. You've
It's
got
a PSA 5, and you were just talking about this with Brian.
Yes.
That's a nice.
What's the grade on that bad boy?
That's a 6, and everything's backwards.
Wait a
so
second. I know that, but you're
Well,
telling me.
yeah.
Hold on. You're telling me that you've got a 51 Bowman Mantle PSA 6?
Yes, and a
That's
52,
going to go for some
and a
serious-
52 and a 5. Yeah, they're great cards, and I'm really looking forward to.
Are they from the same consignor?
I can't tell you this.
Hey, see what it is?
I was simply
Gee.
asking.
Well, listen, don't get too personal. Do they ever have a Mickey Mantle card with, him batting righty and then the other one lefty?
Wouldn't that be cool? Doesn't that make sense? You
Yeah.
know, to see something like that.
Yeah, it's too bad they don't.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Anyway.
What else are you offering for the
So it's going to be a very memorabilia heavy auction. You may remember that we've been working on the Ted Patterson collection.
Yeah.
Ted had a lot of sort of nuts and bolts kind of memorabilia, lots of scorecards and publications and figural pieces and smaller display items. And we're going to have a lot of that stuff in the next auction. We've sold a lot of the bigger, large format pieces and a lot of the game used stuff that he had. So we'll be now moving towards some of the smaller stuff. Great display material. And then also we've got a large collection that we started working on with our last auction of 1960s baseball and football cards and a lot of newer unopened material. All of that the rest of that will also be in the fall auction. So it should be pretty exciting. There's going to be a little bit of something for everyone kind of auction. So
very cool.
Forward to it. And we are still accepting consignments, which we'll do right through the end of September. So,
you mentioned something a couple of weeks ago that kind of stuck in the back of my mind. You try not to duplicate items, correct?
I do. I think, for me, for my auction, I feel like if you have too many similar pieces, they sort of hurt each other. They cannibalize each other. And so we try not to do anything that would hurt our consigners. Now if there's two very liquid items that they're very plentiful and it's not a big deal to see two side by side.
Yep.
Then we let that go. If they're two dramatically different grades, and so they're a 52 Mantle in 1 is not going to have the same bidders as a 52 Mantle in 5. So I would have those both in the same auction. But when it comes to similar pieces, we just try not to do that.
I think that's a smart, wise move, to be honest.
We actually had a situation a few auctions ago where someone consigned a complete 1914 Cracker Jack set. And I already had on consignment the Cobb from another consignor. So when this consignor comes with the set, I had to tell him we could take the set, but we can't sell the Cobb because I already have one. I actually turned down a 1914 Cracker Jack Cobb.
Oh my God!
But I just feel like it's the right thing to do for the consignment.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
And so it's just our sort of policy. Other auction houses feel differently, and I don't know who's right or wrong.
All right, listen, I want you to stick around. I want you to stick around because this is the big moment of the show when we're
doing a giveaway.
This is a giveaway for a really interesting Rico Petrocelli signed card that he gave us for the Jimmy Fund. We have a bunch of these, but even more importantly than this, our good friend Staten Island Joe Marino, trying to hedge his bets about 25 years ago, bought every Greg Jeffries card in existence. Joe Marino owns 3,425,000 Greg Jeffries cards.
How many
So-
Kevin Steitzers? Does he have Kevin
No,
Steitzer?
but so now, so here's what Joe was. This was really, really kind of him to do, Rico and Al. He sent me about 400 of them signed by Staten Island Joe Marino. It says happy collecting, Staten Island Joe. So we're going to throw this in with this. He is a nice work. And Joe also, this bag came from Staten Island Joe. This is the very famous Baseball Hall of Fame Museum Shop bag that I am sure, and I say this every week, that he knuckled. So let's pick out of the hat. This week's winner is...
For my next birthday, will you?
Hold on. Ryan Fitterman.
Oh, yeah.
Do we know Ryan?
Fitterman. Yeah.
Know Ryan?
Yep.
You don't know Ryan. Do you know Al? Is he?
I don't recognize the name.
I don't either. Ryan,
Former second baseman with the Tigers. What? Isn't that in Fetterman?
No.
Maybe he'll consign some signs.
His name was
next time.
I think you're thinking of Ryan Sandberg, and he wasn't for the Tigers. But anyway, you know the rules. You have 1 week to get in touch with me. Email me, personal, whatever you want me. If I don't hear from you in a week, you're out. Very simple, right?
Tough. Yeah.
All right, Al, let's see. We got about a minute left. You got a new logo. You've got a fantastic auction. We are not going to see you at the oh, no, the Philly show.
You're not.
Over.
They won't let me in.
No, plus it's over. Because remember, this is...
That's right. That's right. We're in the future. That's right. Yeah.
CSA show. You don't go down to Virginia, though, right?
That's more of an autograph show, and so we haven't done that one. I would like to get back to the Philly show, though. That's a really good show.
Well, I could say to you, boy, we had a blast there, and the show went really well that John Mallory and I did, because it's now after the show, but in reality, it's 3 days from now. So
it's really cool how you can teleport back and forth.
So I can't tell you. I can't tell you. All right, Al, we love you. And your auction, your website address is?
loveofthegameauctions.com. And you can get me at info@loveofthegameauctions.com. It's always good to see you guys.
Take care.
Great seeing you, Al. Take care.
Love the game auction.
We'll see.
Take care, buddy.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, one more. eBay. Stop, sell, and build your perfect collection. eBay is full of buyers and sellers from across the globe, and anytime you're looking for something specific or want to sell something really cool and unique, it's the first and only place to go. From sports cards to collectible card games like Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, they have all the superstars and super spells for an unmatched collection. For more information, go to ebay.com. Rico, Red Sox. Red Sox are playing well. Red Sox are going to be in the playoff. Yankees are going down like the Titanic. That's all I care about.
Okay. All right. We'll see. It's a couple of weeks left, and great race. Hey, Toronto's in this too. So
I know Toronto is good.
Yep.
All right, brother Rico, we love you.
All right, buddy.
Don't forget, our first show in the new studio is going to launch on October 27th. Rico, myself, and JM will be in there together. The three of us will do the show.
A live audience too?
Well, you know something? I was thinking about that. We may invite some
Let's
people.
do it. Sure.
I think we're going to. All right, we love you guys. Rico, I'll talk to you next
it's great. See you later. Okay. Take care. Dave, great job as always. And Tom, you're the best. I love you, man.
Oh, stop it. With that being said, we love you.
Not
Love
really.
you guys. Thanks for all your help, all your support. And remember, happy collecting.